I'm just so glad that we're back again live here at Channel 17, Santa Barbara Channels, and that I have the privilege of hosting again a wonderful hour-long show. So it'll be time for a lot of different things and interests. And also I want to let you know that this is a live call-in show. And you can begin to, the number should be coming up there any minute on your screen, and you can begin to call us at any time and ask a brief question. I'm sure you'll find it very interesting, and there are many questions. If it were me, I would take advantage of it with our guest. And if we don't get a lot of questions, I'm going to question the whole time. But we'd love to have you call in. So we are live tonight, and we will be off next in our next scheduled broadcast because it's Thanksgiving Day, and so we want to encourage you to be enjoying your Thanksgiving, and then we'll be back 2 weeks after that live again. Okay, so there will be a show playing on Thanksgiving, but we won't be live. But this is live, and you can begin calling in, and people may sort of wait until the last half hour, but go ahead and pick up the phone and call when anything that is being said or that you'd like to ask our guest about. There's so many different wonderful topics that she can use to answer your questions. So anyway, here we are, and I want to now introduce our wonderful guest that's returning. I've asked her to come back, and this is Darshini In Spirit. Hello, Darshini.
Thank you again.
Thank you for coming back.
It's such
Look
a
at you.
pleasure.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. You look great.
Oh,
Your
thank
smile and just, boy, doesn't she look great. You got a
it's
nice
too
cloud behind you. You're floating in the sky.
I'm floating most of the time anyway.
We're all floating.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm so glad you came back. And how have things been going in the last few, I think you were here about 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's
so,
right.
what's new? Anything new?
Just a lot of craziness and finishing up the book. And
Okay.
It's busy teaching.
Okay.
And doing expos and fairs and
All right. So you're
lectures.
finishing your book up. Can we go there or not?
Yeah. Yeah, to go there, right?
There's one guest I had that's been writing a book, and she came on for a few years, and every time was, well, I'm still working on my book, and finally we stopped talking about it.
No, it's near to the end. So.
I'm sure. And what's the book about?
You know, it's really started basically a long time ago as predictions, but quite frankly, I found because of the teaching of the classes at the 86, I saw that there was a lot of help that was needed by the individual. So really, it's a kind of a different book. It's a book, a conversation with the individual. And
that's
it's not a
interesting.
mass, it's a kind of a one-sided kind of conversation, but I'm talking to the individual. So it's a handbook. In other words, you could say, oh, fear. What does she say about fear? So you'll go to the glossary and say fear, and it'll itemize all the chapters that pick up fear
that's
in.
nice. Yeah.
Or,
That's got to be, you got to really be putting a lot of work into that.
Yes, that's why it's taken so long.
Yes.
But it also helps where people don't have to go, oh, from chapter 1 to 2 to 3.
Yes.
You can just start in the middle, or any heading that really grabs you.
Yeah.
Like one's called scrambled eggs, and
It sounds good. I'm kind of hungry.
I know. But basically, all these different addressing, and it's about situations that people find themselves, and it's usually high stress situations or relationships, you name it, across the board. There are predictions in there.
Okay.
Because it was based originally on the 2012, which obviously, and I was, the predictions that I put on the YouTube did come out, unfortunately. A lot of them.
We'll talk a little bit more about that because some of of our viewers didn't see you before, and so we need to let them know all these wonderful gifts that you have, and that you can share them, and we can, like I said, we're a call-in show, so anytime you would like to call in and ask a brief question, and also you can get a hold of Darshini. The contact information should be coming up anytime. So anyway,
thank you.
Did you have a good trip here?
Yes.
Everything
actually, just quickly on a side note.
Yes.
We actually stopped in your Reagan.
Oh, you
museum.
did? Oh.
We were quite surprised, and we were privy because we were to the end, to the second level, to where his all his paintings were.
Really?
So it's an
They took you in
incredibly
there.
unique
Is it?
place. People should. I mean, you live in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Take time, and I didn't know some of the things about him.
Would-
And they were staffed by a marvelous crew.
Wow, how wonderful.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How far, I should
It's
know?
literally 5 minutes,
From
7 minutes from here.
Well, maybe we should
It's
just
near the
end the
Amtrak.
show and go over there.
I know, in the show and go over.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So-
Was there like any kind of an inspiring or inspirational feeling there with some of it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised that President Reagan was, one, shy, and two, that he had this really soft way of communicating with people. And I realized that also he had this communication with originally a 13-year-old pen pal.
Oh,
He
really?
actually took under his wing, and
Interesting.
she kept with him until I believe he died, and that association. So I mean, he really did relate to the common
Really
person,
did
and,
to the common person.
and most of the work not most, but he did a lot of work on his ranch that he was. I think he not donated, but he sold eventually in construction himself. He actually
I didn't
built.
know that. So he was really,
Oh,
really a
it's
part of
really
that. He was
handy,
hands-on, yeah. That's
Anyway,
great.
sorry.
Oh, no, that's
Sidetracked.
okay. It's interesting. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of folks just around here haven't gone, you know.
I know. Well, when I was in England, I didn't go to half the places.
Okay, Darshini, let's just talk a little bit about you. I'm sure some of our viewers remember you, and I hopefully will be watching and ready to ask questions and take advantage of it. I always think of it that way when a wonderful psychic or spiritual person or medium is here. I would like to take advantage of it, not just
yeah.
wait it out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's
so we're saying we're here. You're an internationally renowned claircognitive. What is a claircognitive? What are you?
What am I?
Yeah,
One
you
wonders sometimes. Actually, a claircognitive.
Yeah.
Now, a medium.
Sweet.
Actually, I know. A medium actually communicates with people who've passed on the
Yes.
other side. A psychic, it's kind of a catch-all when you think about it.
Psychic, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And some people
clair-
say psychic medium.
Exactly.
Put that
It's-
together.
Yeah, it's kind of not exactly a defining role, I feel. But anyway, a clairvoyant receives messages through pictures. A clairaudio hears it, messages. A clairsentient feels it. I feel that you're upset, etc. And I'm also get it in taste, and I get it in smell. Those are the only two that I have to hesitate because I had to convert it into words.
Yeah.
So I'm all of that. That's what a claircognitive
Okay.
is. So it downloads like a DVD.
Okay, so that's great. So I like that spiritual DVD.
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Straight to
So when we're talking about claircognitive, clairvoyant, and so forth, some people maybe haven't even heard what most people have, and you're welcome to call, and Darshini will definitely demonstrate, and you'll be blessed by that as well.
Oh,
You're welcome. But some people don't know what that means. That clair just simply means clear.
Clear.
Yeah,
That's right.
Right?
A lot of people
French
don't.
word for clair,
Yeah.
clairvoyant, clear seeing. Voyant is to do with eyes. Clear seeing,
Yeah.
and that's particularly representing the psychic senses too,
Correct,
because
yeah.
we can all be clear, hopefully clear seeing. But
Yeah.
this is if you have a question or a thought that you'd like to for Darshini to tune into to get a psychic answer for you. Okay, so we already have.
Oh, wow.
We may not.
Oh.
We got to find out what you're doing though.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
let's take Sharon on the phone.
Sure.
And are you ready?
Yes.
She's right there. Hi, Sharon. Welcome to Let Us Connect. Hello. Let's get the sound turned up here.
Can you hear me?
It always takes a little
Hello?
while the first time,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Is Sharon, are you there?
Hello? I'm here. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, but far away.
Hello?
You guys
Can you
in
hear
the
me?
audio over there. Let's turn it up. Hold on, Sharon. We'll get you up there. Okay.
She sounds as if she's speaking from spirit.
Yeah, you sound like,
Okay, I'm
I know,
waiting.
it's like, wow. First calls from Spirit.
Yeah.
All right, are you there? Can you hear me now? Okay, we're not getting any sound
Oh, I
coming
can
in
hear you
there.
on the TV, but not on the phone.
Well, it's starting to come up now. Turn it up a little louder in there. Thank you, if you will. Hello?
Must be James.
Hello? I'm here.
Okay, we need it a little louder, all the guys in the control room, okay? She sounds, that's,
It's not
Okay.
being
Seems to be
transmitted.
a few seconds
okay.
delay.
Well, go ahead and we'll be real quiet, and I think I can barely hear you. Go ahead, what is your question for Darshini? Hello?
Okay, my question is, I have an employer that's pretty tough, and I don't know if I should stick it out and work for him, or if I should move on and find other work.
Employer.
Oh.
No, she should stick it out and work for him and move on. I'm
Oh, okay.
repeating it because we can barely hear you, so, but she got it.
Hopefully
She
that's
got it.
right, that you're employed, but you want to know if you want to move on or need to move on, right, Sharon? Okay?
Can you hear
Yeah.
Darshini?
Yes, that is
Okay,
correct.
great. Okay, so would you say that you've been not exactly in a disgruntled, I know that's a powerful word there, but a disgruntled and unhappy state for the last 3 months, especially so for within, with your employment situation, is that true?
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Okay, good.
So now things happen to you, and that's why, by the way, when I do readings, and you better be warned, I'm brutally honest. So just to warn you of that. So, okay, so what happens is,
Excuse me just a minute, Darshini. I'm just getting a message for you to turn your TV down, okay?
Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon, if you'll turn your TV down and just use it like a telephone call, it'll
If I
come
turn my
through
TV
better.
down, then
And
I
we do
can't
need
hear
to
you
have a little
talk.
more volume out here, if you guys can do it. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. So
Yeah, sorry.
anyway, things happen for reasons, okay? And I see that you're quite stubborn at times. You're a bit of a fixer, Sharon. And fixers think, oh, everything will be okay. But when situations run their course, you have to understand it is at the end. And you knew this in a way that something new was going to happen to you last November. Is that true or not?
Are you there?
Last November, you mean 1 year?
Yeah, a year ago. Did you feel that something was going to change in your employment a year ago?
Yes, I had
Okay.
been going through
Yes,
job
good.
troubles.
So what we do here is I'm trying to also teach everybody who's listening, hopefully, is that we tend to know that our cycle is ending, but we also are much into denial because we want our security blankets, and our blanket is the TV remote and the comfy, the regular paycheck, and especially with the economy. And you are very concerned about money, I see. And I think, quite frankly, it relates back to an incident when you were 7 years old with your family. And something happened that year that really has you a bit more concerned about money than usual. So you really delayed a decision that you should have really made roundabout. Something happened with the job in March. Does all of this sound true to you so far?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Got almost a time delay.
Yes, it was a big deal. So basically, what's going on here is
I'm
a huge
answering you
lesson.
immediately. It is a time delay.
There is a time delay.
Oh, there is a time delay. Okay.
Okay, thanks,
I
Sharon.
want to interrupt just if we can turn that volume up any more. Maybe Mark could come and help if nothing else. Okay, go ahead.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
So anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
So anyway, what's going on here is that you're in a bit of a personal genesis. And with that means that you are having to learn what really your new skill level is. You are such an intense and conscientious worker when you're interested in something. But when you're not interested in something, Sharon, I see that you can kick back, but you can do it blind and you still get away with it. Is that true, Sharon?
Yes, unfortunately.
See?
Yeah, the sound came up. You can take it down just a little.
Yeah. Now we got it. Great.
We got
so,
you.
Yeah, by the way, I can see right through you, so watch it. Not in a bad way,
No.
okay, Sharon?
No,
So anyway,
that's what you're here for.
yeah. So basically, what's going on here is that you have to, there is something on my YouTube, it's called a kick in the head, and it literally is a kick in the head.
Wow.
It's a 3-hour exercise, and if you're willing to do it, it actually cleanses you from your past a bit. Not everything, but it cleanses you from your past, Sharon. But independent of that, what I want you to do is really decide what you love doing. There's a thing called Radio 404. Now, if anybody wants those links, just email me. They have the email on the screen during the show, and then I'll gladly send you the links. But those two are very powerful in identifying where you are now in your skills, and as we're talking about today, your gifts. So you have to identify them. You've been very, not lazy, I would say in fear a bit of even doing your resume. Is that true, Sharon?
Yeah, actually, I've been sending out resumes today.
Yeah. So you know what? I see within about 6 months that I see, Sharon, that you'll be able to really revise your resume completely. Okay. Now you want to be making sure you're safe, so you don't want to you're like the frog, and you don't want to jump onto the next lily pad until you've got one leg on both lily pads to make sure you're safe. But you will be okay on that. I don't see any movement with the job until about February 12th to the 15th that I see.
Okay.
So just hang on. You've got a marvelous, but you have to decide what you want. In other words, there are 3 things that you're marvelous at, and I love to tell you, but you know what? Spirit's saying no. Don't give it to her. You have to learn. So best of luck, and you know what? You're going to be fine. I hope that helps you.
Okay, great.
It really does. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
Pleasure.
Well, I can finally hear you a little bit. The sound could definitely come up some more, but we're able to hear you from afar. Thank you.
Well,
And
actually, I could turn off the TV now and I can hear you on the phone.
Oh, yes,
lovely.
that's the way to do it.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yes, and then too, when
All right,
you,
thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you for calling. That is a good, excuse me. The thing is, when you do call in, turn your TV down and just talk on the phone, and you can watch it on TV, and we'll hear it, but then we can hear you better. Okay, so hopefully the number's coming up here for you to call in, and do take advantage of it. Here we go, right there. Call in live for Darshini, and Darshini and I are gonna take up where we left off. I was asking you about claircognitive and clairvoyant and clairsentient, and the word clair just means clear in a psychic sense. We're using it here. Clear thinking, clear seeing, and some people have certain gifts, some psychics, and so I'm asking you, which gifts you utilize the most?
The most of the 3 clairs, quite frankly, the taste and the smell come in at odd times, and it really is when it's usually on the mediumship side when somebody's coming in as, don't ask me why they do it, it drives me nuts, because you're in the middle of a reading and then suddenly they give you a taste or a smell, and you have to hold until you get the whole picture, the whole taste, and then you convert it into words, then you tell them, which, it's really kind of innocuous, but it's weird.
So we have, again, maybe it'd be good to just go over before we talk about what you're doing in your class, what's coming up for you. But clair means clear, so clairvoyant means you see it. And now tell our viewers, when you see it, do you see it inside subjectively?
No.
Do you see it objectively?
Okay, now some readers, I know they say they go through guides or angels or whatever. Now, unfortunately, what I do is kind of totally different. I go
Okay.
through, I use energy,
Uh-huh.
and I go through energy, and that's what most of my classes and the books about is energy, why it's changing so much. But basically, I go through energy and dimensions. So that's why whenever somebody books a reading, I always go backwards first, because it's crucial to make sure that they're guided to the right person, but it's also the benefit, Martha, that they are getting from that there is some kind of event. There are events that are in our lives that are anchoring us, holding us back. So it's either a co-behavior that they've co-created in the back and they have to let go at this point of life, or it's a memory that they don't want to let go and they're exhibiting certain behaviors and they can't move on.
I see.
It's like a 10 anchored balloon, blimp, should I say, in your life. So I go backwards just briefly, but it's helped everybody.
So if someone calls, the next person that hopefully calls in and asks a question, you're going to use which particular sense, or do you wait to see which way Spirit wants to manifest it, or what would you say here on TV?
Oh, okay. Well,
For
how I do
TV.
all readings, I don't go through, I don't use Spirit.
That's
I know
right.
Science Way.
Okay.
So I go
You
independent.
did say that.
Yeah.
I just got that in my head.
That's okay. So basically, if somebody calls in and asking for a reading, whatever question, and this is how I did it when I didn't know anything about this.
Okay.
And I always used to say, I send my radar out.
Your radar,
And I
like
literally
that.
go, okay, well, she's talking about a job, so I look at the job, and then from then it's like ripples in a pool. It expands into literally a radar field, and then I see, okay, there's a spot in November for her that was really crucial to where she was, and they have to go back there because there are certain markers that if they see those markers, it'll help them get back on their path.
Ah,
So it's not just on one level flat. Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to get a job in whatever. It's more on okay, I'm holding your hand, but we're not going to give you everything. We guide you to the answer, but we're not going to give you everything.
So you
have to learn by
you have
this.
to learn, and you have to learn how to take those steps,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, we're here as teachers,
They'll
not
be here to help you.
guides.
Yeah.
Not
Guides.
to not exactly play Hitler and say, hey, you have to do it, but that's how I do readings.
Wow,
So it's
interesting.
through dimensions that I do
Okay,
it.
so what a wonderful opportunity to call in and ask a question. But so
If I didn't
let's
scare them.
Oh, that didn't scare them. What's there to be scared of? That's a
Well,
wonderful opportunity.
Well, I am
Well, even
brutally
if you're
honest.
brutally
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
I mean, how many people need to have honesty? Need to hear something honestly. Okay, so you're a renowned claircognitive. Let's get back to that. Talking about the clairs, there's like four clairs: clairvoyance, claircognitive, clairaudient, and clairsentient.
Yes.
Maybe. And so, want to tell us a little bit about those before we talk a little bit more about you and which ones that you, what they mean and
Yeah,
what you use.
just all.
People maybe haven't even heard of this before. So.
Yeah, but it's like a picture. The picture is like a DVD, as you said.
Okay.
It's not something that you can see because you're seeing it in a different dimension. Okay. So basically, that's clairvoyant. Clear audio, you just hear it, and that was the hardest thing when I started doing readings, which I was forced to do, by the way, by them.
Oh, I'll have to hear about
it's
that.
to really decide to really distinguish what is yours to somebody else's, and then I realized the syntax, the language was different, the whole tenure of the message coming in was totally different. So therefore, it's just like a new, beautifully new road. You don't know which way to go until you don't even know how to define the road.
Right.
Now, when you start using it, it creates a track.
Yes.
So okay, that's the way you're going to go, and that's where you're going to get
Okay.
the messages coming in.
Okay.
All right, the information. That's clear audio, well, all of them clairs. And the clairsentient, it's very, actually that can be overwhelming sometimes, because what happens is when I do reading, I step into them. So like some of them, I hate to say it, some of them I've had to say, okay, this actually happened, and quite a few times.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I said, well, you had a gun in your hand in your mouth 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
gosh.
you actually pulled the trigger, and the trigger didn't
Oh,
it didn't go
my.
off, did it?
You
And
had
he
that.
said, "How in heaven's name did you?" He used not language, but anyway.
It's okay.
And he said, "How in heaven's name did you know? Nobody was there." And I said, "If nobody was there, how do I know?" And I'm just trying to show that spirit is always there.
The spirit,
You know, his guides were. And I said, and by the way, the gun went off later, didn't it? And he said, "Yes, it did."
Wow.
So it shows that
Where was it?
despite
You didn't have it hopefully.
no,
Okay, good.
it just went off. And you know, we are given chances, and there's so many. And that's one of the signs that I talk frequently about in the last 3 years about on the YouTubes, is that suicide has increased, and people are really frustrated. They're desperate, and they don't know who to go to, and then they really. And it's not only that. There are others who just want to give up, quite frankly.
Just give up. Not
And
really.
I think you know it. Yeah.
Yeah,
participating
it's
in
to
life.
cut. Yeah, because sometimes people just feel so alone, and they don't really have that support, you know, or take advantage of it, and it's easy to give up in such a materialistic.
Yes,
You know.
it depends on each situation's you know, obviously
of
individual
course,
to its
yeah.
own. But you know, there are extremes to some who just, you know, are looking for literally to be recognized, and that's their way of being recognized. So you know,
And if
the
someone-
shootings.
If someone, yeah, that you, if someone's, we'll go to that in just a minute, if someone is there and you have a feeling even desperate, not that I want to make
No,
you take it
no,
on,
no,
but
no.
a desperate or a real
Anguish.
anguish, concern question, this is the time to call in
Yeah.
and give your name or a name.
Or any made up
Any
name,
name.
any name.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
matter
take
about
advantage of it, because we only have this, well, actually, we only have about a little
Wow.
over a half hour already.
Already?
We're going quickly. So let's talk just a little bit more about you being claircognitive and a medium, a psychic, clairvoyant, clairsentient, and clairaudio. Okay, so spirit speaks to you, you know, as a clairaudient, so that you hear spirit, and a clairsentient, like you said. I'm just kind of going over what you said, where you feel it, and that can be rather overwhelming at times. And in fact, a teacher that I had, a psychic teacher, would say, because she was very sensitive to that too. And
Oh, I bet she was a
and
major clair.
she was, and she would
Gotcha.
say, well, that's interesting, we'll talk about that. But she at sometimes would say, okay, she would be on the platform with people asking questions, and got to where she would send her teacher out there.
Oh.
She had that rapport with her spirit teacher, that so rather than her picking up all of that, she would just say, you know, you go out, you know,
Wow.
and that would help give her the message. Isn't that neat?
Oh wow, I never heard of that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, because she didn't want to have to project out there and get too close. So it's interesting. Yeah.
It is. It's how you feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah. So what was the major clairvoyant? Is that what you were? You said something, you called them a major clairvoyant, or was that something I heard?
Oh,
A
no, I think it could be
major. How about a colonel,
Okay.
a general?
Major, a lieutenant.
I don't know where I got that. Okay, so we were just talking about which sense probably you would be using more.
It's really
just
a
so we're talking
combination.
about you and what you
Yeah.
do.
No, it's
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway, but it's just everything. I use everything all the time.
Can
so.
you get a general sense, even like right now here in the studio, of any kind of energy out there that?
What? Who's trying to call?
Yes.
There is somebody who's trying to call.
Can you tell?
Who's in a desperate situation? It's
Okay.
a male.
Okay.
I won't go into it, but he's going through really,
Okay.
going through a lot of. You know, I'm sorry, and he's reasonably around about 30s, but he's going through some horrible strife, and it's financial as well.
Wow.
So, yeah. Anyway. I
Okay,
guess
so
we-
if that resonates, please do call in. So we have another phone. We have another caller. This is Candace. Hopefully we'll have the sound just right. Hello, is Candace? Welcome to Let Us
Yes,
Connect.
this is Candace.
Yes.
Candace.
What is your question for our wonderful clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient
Wonderful.
Darshini? What is that question?
Well, I'm having a hard time making some decisions in my life right now. I'm kind of at that age where my children are gone, and it's time to do something for myself, and I just don't know if I'm making the right choices.
Okay, I'm going to leap in here, Candice. You've got a major problem with permission. It's as if you really, you gave so much of yourself most of your life to your children, and that you are, even to your friends, you go out and help throughout especially in the last 5 years, you seem to have kind of gone into a pattern where you're helping your friends a lot, but you're not really helping yourself. Is that true?
Yes, it is, actually.
Okay, and unfortunately what's happening is you've gone into a major cycle where you really have kind of got into a fog, basically, Candice. And the fog is so thick, you're lost, you're wandering around in circles. I would say that you're an empath. You pick up other people's feelings. And there's a class I teach called Spiritual Abilities where I try and define, and there are good things and bad things about being a sender or a receiver, and you have to know. And I hate to say it, you're a major receiver because you're picking up other people's problems and they love telling it to you. You even give them sound advice, but they don't take any of it to heart. Is that true?
Absolutely, very true, yes.
Okay, so basically that really, have you noticed in the last 6.5, 7 months that it's been more irritating, that you're actually being snappish towards people now?
Yeah.
That's hard to admit. We need to turn your sound up a little.
So because that is part of these signs that hopefully we'll get time for, that I'm talking about, is called phase 5, where we're getting people. These are only one of about 25 signs that you're in phase 5, and phase 5 is a very crucial time. It's a cleansing and clearing, and it's redefining of who you are. Part of the signs of have you been even cleaning out your closets recently?
Yes, I have. I did that actually today.
That's a classic.
Today she did.
See?
Look at there.
And that is a classic sign. There are so many signs. There's quite a few of my videos are devoted to phase 5 because all over the world they've been responding to me and saying, how did you know? That's exact. People think I'm crazy, but you got me. Because it's not only cleaning out, like relationships are changing. Do you have 3 children, by the way?
No, I only have 2.
Okay, did you lose one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you can't lie to me. I see all of them.
She's not lying.
Yeah, no,
It's hard to talk about that.
No, but it's hard. But that's why I see 3 children. But that other third child is around you, and basically you redefined yourself to make sure that everybody was safe, but you at the cost of yourself, Candice. And because of the cost of yourself, now you are totally lost. I say about good 90%, you have to redefine yourself. And you have changed into quite a powerful woman, but you don't even realize it. You have to be kind to yourself. This era, these signs that I'm talking about, phase 5, that are prevalent to a good 90% of us, to be warning you, anybody who's listening, is that you're going to be getting even more fractious with people out there. So in other words, you're going to be, have you been feeling that you don't want to go outside and you just want to stay at home and, be alone, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sitting here in tears right now because you're reading me exactly. Yeah.
It scares you, huh?
It's so true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to terrify you, but if you go to phase 5 on my video, or if you just email me, I'll send you the links. But basically, I will be defining it. It's called the cleansing and clearing phase, and the phase 5 should have only lasted 3 months, but it's lasted nearly a year because it's such a strong phase. What we want you to do really is to start looking at your life, what makes you happy, but you're such a giving, loving person, you don't know what makes you happy because other people have kind of forced things on you about what they need and what they think you are. That's why you're getting angry, by the way. So you have to really retreat a bit more. You like the woods, don't you? Not the beach, the woods.
Yeah, no, I am more beach.
You are
but
more
I
beach?
do live in the woods currently.
Oh, that's why you live in the woods.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm seeing woods. So anyway, basically, just take a book, and even though it's the beach tends to get you all fluffy and tranquil, which is nice, but you need to be kind of hard and realist. So go to the woods, they're saying.
Okay.
Okay, and write out what you need and what you'd like to be. So there again, I mentioned this on the previous one, phase 4, and phase 5, but it's called Radio 404. But there are some other things I'll send you if you want, just email me. But this is going to be a process, it's not going to be immediate. I know, I can see where you're going to be, but I'm not going to tell you. We can't do all, it's your life, not our life. So I want you to just do your homework. You have got a great time. Don't worry about Christmas. For some reason you're tensing up at Christmas. It'll be fine. Just redefine who you want to be around at Christmas. And don't care about anybody else, what they think, okay?
Okay.
Great.
All right? So,
All right. So
best of luck.
great.
By end of June, by August next year, you're going to really be quite a different person. By May, you are starting your major transition, but don't think it's going to, don't be scared of it, or because you're kind of scared of my reading, but it'll help you, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Oh, best of luck.
Thanks for calling in. Thank you, Darshini. So now we want to open up the lines. We thought we were going to talk a little more and ask a brief question.
Oh, sorry.
And you can go on. You can make it longer when no one's waiting. But
Yes.
if people are waiting, then it's
Oh,
like brief. No, if they are.
Oh, okay.
It's nice to be short because they'll hang up. Okay, great, Darshini. So we were just talking about being clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and and I want to talk about your classes and all of the phases that you're talking about.
the
Maybe you
phases.
could tell us a little bit about that, your phases, and even though your classes aren't held here around the Santa Barbara area, we can certainly learn from, if you'll share a little bit of that with us. Okay, you go ahead and, go ahead and call in at any time. We'll see your name and we'll stop and fortunately hear what Darshini has to say. But for right now, tell us a little about what you're
just
doing.
quickly.
Yes.
I teach there's 86 classes, and they're
86
all diverse.
classes.
Yeah, and it's not all about how we can do this. Only one class is based on that.
Okay.
And the rest are really about cleaning and cleansing. And it's like a deprogramming. And it's about really stripping down, or what I call debarking. Because we are conditioned by so many factors. Even before we're born, people don't realize that we're created well before we're born.
Oh, that's an interesting subject to just pause for just a moment. And sometimes we might even be able to get a little sense of that if we were to stop and be quiet, meditate a little. That soul is there, or goes on before and after. But you go ahead.
And that's why I am able to see ahead when somebody is quite young that they're going to have so many children and what they look like, because they're already there.
Okay. Wow.
Well before. So we're conditioned even while we're on the other side. So that conditioning actually is part of your mantle. And you have to really decide what is really, how we're conditioned at school. We're conditioned by TV and internet and extraneous stuff.
Yes.
So what are your real thoughts in a way? What are your are you really? And we get sidetracked a lot. So with that, the classes are designed one by one to address all these little areas, and it's. There's lots of more information on the website,
of course.
but Mirror Mirror is the most powerful one, where I actually send them back, not in another life, in this life.
So if you tune in, or what am I trying to say, get onto Darshini's website, you'll see these different classes that seem really interesting. And that Mirror Mirror, when I was looking at that today, and that you're saying is one that really can help
Yeah, that
in
one's the
general,
most-
a lot of people mirror on your website, and that's coming up on the screen.
Yeah.
Not the mirror, but the
Yeah,
website.
the website, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about
But
that, if you will.
Mirror is really, well, there's a lot, you go to the testimonials because I
Okay,
usually,
yes.
I've split them into testimonials and
Yes, I
classes.
saw those.
Only a few of the classes are really up there, but basically the most powerful ones, you know, they'll be added later, but the mirror is the most one.
And
So
what
you go
is it?
backwards.
What
You go
is the mirror?
backwards, it's like a regression.
Okay.
But I take you back as the facilitator, and it's kind of weird. Whoever's in the class is kind of a chosen class,
Okay.
because they're chosen participants, and I go back to certain years, so it's
Okay.
the ages in your life, and for some reason people, every single class I've taught in all the years, they've actually said, well, that every single age that you mentioned, something happened. So what you do is you're a voyeur in your own life. You
Okay.
literally come in like as if you are a spirit in your own life, and you look and see what really happened, not what you think happened, but what really happened. And then you're able to close the door and understand at the age you are now,
Okay.
and understanding and
Right.
wisdom,
Wow.
and then you can close the door and shut it, and then release that and go on forward. And so they change
So
quite
it's a wonderful
dramatically.
thing, and you can find that on your website.
Yes.
You'll actually be able to do that process that you're talking
Yes.
about from
Well,
the website.
I'm going to-
As well as your classes, of
Well, the
course.
classes,
Yeah.
But I'm hoping in the future, next year, I'm going to try and get it more on a global, not webinar, but you know, teach it that way, so globally.
So, all right, I'm glad for the caller that came in. That was a wonderful reading you got there. And so if you'd like another brief reading, anyone, just call in. Maybe you can mirror something back.
Yes, exactly.
And learn more about it. This is wonderful, Darshini. Wow,
Oh,
it
thank
feels really, really good to have you here. And there, took my glasses off, and that's why I couldn't find them. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about where we were at in the clairvoyance, and how does that, the clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairaudio, how can you tie that into mediumship and psychic ability? We started to talk about that. Are they all psychic ability? Is it clair mean that, or
I
what
think
would you
psychic
say?
is a bit of a hackneyed word, to be
You think
honest.
so? Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
and
think about
because
that?
I really rather use it in the way of, I'll define it, because psychic's a catch-all. And you know,
True.
mediumship is definitely, you know, that you communicate, like John Edwards, with people on the other
So
side.
mediumship is actually communicating with people on the other side.
Yes.
Psychic is kind of like,
You know, it's a psychic.
I'm picking
it's like
up or
it's
getting
everything. It's just a
impression.
general.
Okay.
And you know, I don't really like using that word anymore. But quite frankly, it's
Okay.
more on, it's a defining which you are, like a clair audio, clairsentient, etc., etc.
Okay.
But everybody has it in some degree or not, you know,
Definitely.
to a stage.
The psychic are all pick up, sometimes just some people see it as an impression. I'm getting an impression, I don't know where it came from, and then
Yeah.
you check it out and it
Yeah,
works.
just like the predictions.
Yeah,
So
yeah, predictions. So, okay, well, tell us a little bit about, you know, and again, I want to invite you to, you know, I can't believe time's going by so
Yeah, I
quickly.
know, it's
I think
incredible.
everyone's really interested in what you're saying here. But we've got, you know, about 18 minutes, so if you'd like to call in and ask a question, okay?
Sure.
Even, and we'll use the word psychic,
Okay.
because you can answer it
Sure.
with a more
Okay.
definitely gifted way. And-
Okay.
Okay, so any questions that you have, take advantage of it. We've got a little bit of time left, okay? So just tell us a little bit about the classes and maybe what kind of energy, you know, is used
It's
for that.
It's really strange, like the healing
yeah.
touch, all of the classes. People are actually what they've all more or less said that they feel a very how can I say, a heady feeling, as if they're floating, and that happens
Interesting.
because the spirit starts ramping the energy up, so they get more information. So it's a far more intense class in every one that I teach.
Okay.
But I've been trying to push, like the spiritual abilities, I'm trying to push people to be their own kind of monitor in a way for the predictions.
Okay.
Because they see that, unfortunately, 2012 and 2013 have really nearly all come true, which
Okay,
is scary.
good. I want to ask you about that.
But quite frankly, I'm trying to, the handbook, the book we were talking about earlier, Epoch Succession, is going to be I'm going to push them to
The
be,
predictions.
yes, no, for them to say, okay, what did I think?
Okay.
I know what she said, but I'd like to know, what do
Okay.
you think?
About-
So
Interesting.
it's a hand-in-hand handbook.
Okay, good. And what can you tell us about, now as people are wanting to call and ask a question, I can feel it coming, but what would you like to let us know? So we're right out of time, well, got 15 minutes.
Okay.
So what would you like to let us know about a prediction that is coming and that and generally would affect most all of us?
Okay.
And then people can call in if you have a question about prediction as well. In
Sure.
fact, I think someone's going to call in now, so I may have to interrupt you, but
Sure,
get
no
started.
problem. Okay, well, as I said, the 2012 and 2013 predictions are all up there.
Okay.
And I will be doing the
Good.
new ones for 2014 in about 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And
2014.
earlier than what I usually do.
Yeah.
Now, we did, one thing I hesitated, I did actually was on a radio show, it's 12/21, December 21st, 2012 I did it. And I started ooming and ahhing because I didn't want to say it, and I said about the shootings. And the very next day, Newtown happened. And as you know, Martha, the shootings have been incredibly increased. And it's not the guns per se, it's the people that feel that they can, there are several factors towards a shooting. So basically, we have to understand that is going to go on, I'm afraid. But we're going to do, it's going to do in a different way. Now, fear is going to build in a different way next year. And I don't mean to be like Debbie Doom disaster here.
No.
But, oh gosh, we've got 3 calls
So we've
now.
got 3 calls waiting.
Okay,
Can
so
I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
Because they're so
No, no.
fascinating. Okay, did we say it was Debbie? Was that?
Yes, Debbie.
Debbie. Hello, are you there,
Yeah.
Debbie?
It's Deanne.
Deanne, I'm
Deanne, I'm sorry.
Here,
Okay.
just let me talk to you, and then I'm going to give her a chance to kind of tune in, or kind of whatever you do, which is your gift. What's your question for Darshini tonight?
My question is, I had a rough beginning of my life and a lot of trauma, and I'm finding that it still affects me older in life, even after raising my kids. And I just wonder, am I ever going to be healed from this?
Okay.
Bless.
Yeah, it's Dina, right?
Deanne.
Deanne, I'm sorry, Deanne. Yeah, we hold on to things. Let me quickly do a quick lesson here. When somebody comes around when you're a baby and slaps you on the head and says, I love you, you mistake that for love, right? Because you're constantly saying, okay, slap, oh, I love you. Okay, oh, that person loves me. Oh, ouch, kind of thing. Well, basically, that's what's going on. You've used it not as a crutch, more as a kind of a defining time in your life. And it's kind of I hate to say this, a form of a security blanket. And I know that's not something that's very nice to say, to be honest, and that's one thing I said, I'm usually brutally honest about things like this, but you haven't, in the last 7 years, I keep on seeing, you've really grown in different ways, where on one way that you've wanted to write about this. Is that true? The trauma?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And I think what you need to do, I have a lot of people who have gone through some horrific, because again, I'm stepping into what you experienced, and I understand your trauma. But you know what? How your path is that when you start writing about it, it's cathartic, because you're sharing it and you're acknowledging it to the world and saying, not saying, hey, I'm proud of it, but you're helping others heal as well. Do you see that dynamic?
Yes.
And, even though you are a private person that I see, you're a kind of a duality where you literally are very quiet and reserved in the middle of a group of people, but then when you believe in something, you are so vocal. It's quite, you're quite known as hard-nosed in a way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so what you need to do is to really start, and don't edit. You're very critical of yourself, and I think that's really to do with the event. You really need to start talking and to yourself and writing it down, and don't edit, just keep on writing, and by about August you'll see that the book is forming up. Okay, so hopefully that will help you. And you know, you have to believe in yourself, and it's about standing proud of who you are. Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
We've
best of luck.
got just 8 minutes and 2 people
Go
wanting
ahead.
to. Okay, so look at you. Robin, welcome to Let Us Connect. How are you tonight?
Hi, Martha.
Hi,
I had a
what's your question
your
for?
guest.
Yes, how are
my
you?
My birthday is January 11th, 53, and I just wanted to know, is there anybody out there, my spirit guides or anything that has a message for me?
Oh,
Is the fact that my birthday, I was born on my mom's birthday also.
Okay,
January
well,
11th.
you know, Robin, right?
Robin.
Yeah, Robin, there's laughing because you've got quite a kind of sarcastic, kicky, a different kind of, in a way, English humor. Do you?
Yes. And
Yes.
It's kind of an Irish, I'm kind of an Irish guy.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, and they're laughing at that. But you know, so
Yeah.
the last 2 years have been a bit more serious in your life. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, and you have forgotten not to laugh so much, but see that life is not as heavy as it can be, has been for you. You took on a heavy responsibility in the last 18 months to a year. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and that heavy responsibility acted like an anchor instead of a, which you thought a good-hearted gesture. It actually drew you down into a deep abyss. But it also made you see about a different side of yourself. Is that true?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so what you need to do is to really start stepping up in the light here. And your great-great-grandmother, it's called a candle lesson, but your candle color is green, like a grass green, and that one, you know, light it. I can send you the links later, but basically it'll free you, help you get into this new mode. But it seems that you've got too serious and you've forgotten about who you were when you were 13 and fun-loving a bit more and really enjoying with the innocence that you had.
Yes, that was the time when I lost my dad during that time.
That's why,
So
13.
yeah,
Okay, do you see all the events correlated now?
correct. Yes, I
Okay,
do.
so basically you need to step forward now and start really, not redefining and saying, oh no, I want to go back to 13, but just saying, you know, have a balance. You got so serious that you're in a quagmire. You're in a swamp, so you need to start moving out of it and extricating yourself and really having some fun, okay?
Okay.
Best of luck to you. You'll see the changes
Thank
by
you
end
so
of
much.
February.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
that's-
Blessings.
Don't
Okay.
forget that last little part. Okay, I believe we've got 5 minutes and we've got
Hello.
2 people left. So we've got Michelle on the phone.
Hello.
Michelle, say hi to
How are you?
Darshini. Yes.
Hi. What's your question,
Hi,
Michelle?
Darshini. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Michelle. What's your question?
I just had a question similar to the last caller.
Okay.
I was just curious if you could sense and tune into my guides or ancestors, and if there's a message for me and who's around to give that message.
Okay, well, it's really for you again, and it's
Yeah.
about, even though you tend to be serious, but you're very shy, is that true?
Yes, I can be. Yes.
And you tend to feel that other people don't really want to hang around you, and you're quite beautiful,
Yeah.
but you don't want to acknowledge that, is that true?
I think you've got it right on.
Okay, so what you need to do is to really broaden your circles safely, and I'm talking maybe meet up or whatever, but find something, and you need to get out. I know this phase 5, and hopefully you'll see the show later, but basically phase 5 is crucial, and we're giving an update. So anyway, basically you're going to be fine, but you need to rediscover who you are now. And you're
Okay.
forgetting about that you've grown, and you're not allowing that mantle to come to you, okay?
Okay.
Best of
Okay,
luck,
thank you
Michelle.
so much.
Thank you, Michelle. She's one of
Thank
our-
you, Martha.
You're welcome. It's good to hear you again. She was one of our
Thank
guests
you.
a few weeks ago. Okay, we've got like 4 minutes left, so we're going to do some real quickies, if that's okay.
Sure, go.
All right, is this Danielle? Was that right? For 3 minutes.
Yes, Danielle.
Danielle, can you ask a quick question, and
Sure.
she can answer in a minute or so, I'm sure. What is your
I was
question?
just wondering what she saw for if I'm going in the right career path.
Okay, you have two career possibilities. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so you tend to question yourself, over-question yourself. There will be movement around about May, but you really need to look at both possibilities. There's another third option there that you haven't even looked at, and I'm talking about creating a business for yourself on the side. Really look at that, because you're really, really creative. You're fantastic, but you don't trust yourself. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. So hopefully that will help, okay?
Thank you.
Do
Thank
you
you,
think
Danielle.
that's going to stay in the healthcare field?
No, we can't tell you what to do. We can guide you, but what I'm saying is look at the other options, okay? But there is something that you can do on your own, in your own business. And that's the third option.
Yes.
Okay.
I was just wondering if that was going to be in the healthcare field as well, or in
Healthcare
a different
field.
section.
Now, but if I tell you, I'm directing you. Start putting the list in, and you'll see that a lot more things will start coming to you.
Okay.
Clarification, okay?
Okay, great.
Oh, thank
you. Yeah. Thank you for calling in. Okay, well, guess
Thank you.
what? We've got under 2 minutes, and this is what people have been doing. They've been kind of waiting till the last 15, 20 minutes instead of starting earlier, but they want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Darshini, it's been so good to have you here, and I
Thank
want
you
to get to
again.
direct everyone to your website and all of the amazing predictions and the different classes, and there's a lot there that we can't get into
I know,
here.
it's too much.
You know,
I know.
We've got just this amount of time, and
I still
everyone
can't
wants.
believe an hour's gone. Ooh.
Yeah, an hour's just about
Yeah.
gone. I'm so glad that you
Thank
came.
you so much
You're
for
welcome.
everything.
And thank you for being such a wonderful and inspiring guest, and offering the knowledge and experience that you've had, and you brought from England, and you got here, and we didn't even go into your bio that much. But you came from England, you're here, and you're just busy with classes, and again, like I said, it's up on the screen, which is nice.
Thank
It keeps
you.
coming back up, and thank you for coming.
Well, thank you
and
for
thank you for
everything.
bringing Jim with you.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have him here in the studio. Such a nice energy when I look over there, you know? Yeah.
Good guy.
So anyway,
Thank you.
maybe if you have a last thought, a last idea, inspiration that you
Sure.
can look right in there and tell
Yeah.
us before we go.
Even
And-
though it could be so bad, what's coming up, please remember that there's some fantastic clarifications about you. Think about what makes you happy. Just go back down to basics. It's not about money. It's not about credit cards. Think about what matters to you, your family. If it's not your family, is it something that you dearly love to do? Look at yourself, and you'll find the happiness that you'll never find before. It's truly.
It's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Well, so it sounds to me like there's a lot of possibilities coming up, even though it's
huge.
difficult. Okay, we're gonna go. It's 2 seconds. Thank you. We're out. I don't think I got